An entire rebuild of drum brakes for my car right here.
That's upside down. You've been driving Tar Heel Fox with good drums. How do you feel about it?
Well, when my motor works, I feel great about it. There goes my label bag.
Because you broke a line.
Right. I did. Hello and welcome to Gearhead 704. I'm Matt, and today we are continuing the build for my FHP. I've got, in case you haven't seen those videos, I actually have an 88 Florida Highway Patrol car, former SSP car, and I've been rebuilding the rear end on that car. But one of the things I do need to do, the car is still in the garage on jack stands. I need to get it out of the garage and get it over here. When I say here, I'm actually at Fox Mustang Restoration. That's where I've been doing a lot of the rebuild at. I actually have Matt here with me today. Here's Matt. Say hi, Matt. Hello. And we've got a lot of brake parts here, but oh yeah, before we get into this, check this out, guys. Got new equipment. So let me go ahead and switch you guys over to this. Yeah, that's my GoPro Hero 6. Now you guys are on the 8, the new quality. So, you know, we're upgrading here, Matt. We're getting better on things a little bit. So, all right. So,
in the right direction.
Exactly. All right. So we've got an entire rebuild of drum brakes for my car right here is what we've got, right?
Yeah, pretty much this is a complete overhaul. It's going to be everything that's considered a wear component on your rear brake system.
Right. There are a couple parts we'll reuse, but those are pretty small number of parts actually, right?
Right,
yeah.
Right. Just a couple of spreaders and brackets that, you know, don't wear out or never wear out.
Okay.
But yeah, on this kit, we're going to do your emergency brake cables.
New e-brake cables, yeah.
Yep. You got your new shoes.
Okay.
With the new linings. Your wheel cylinders on your original one, they were seized up, they were rusted, so we couldn't, you know.
Yeah, I tried to stick a screwdriver in it, it was like stuck. It wasn't moving at all, right?
And that's how you check those. You make sure the pistons still move. Well, one of yours was locked solid, so we're doing two new hydraulic cylinders. We got your new brake line, or brake hose.
Brake hose, right?
Yeah, line's the metal part.
Now, why is there only one hose? I thought somehow there would be two, but this hooks into the line somehow, basically?
Well, yeah, because if you look right here, this bolts to the rear end. This bolts to the rear end right there.
Okay.
This will bolt to the line that's attached to the car.
This is the part I broke. Taking it out of the car.
You broke the metal line that this bolts into.
Right. Let me show them real quick, guys. So before I knew Matt and knew, you know, halfway what I was doing, or I didn't know anything, I broke this right here. So this is this replacement part, the hose replacement.
Yeah.
And I broke this fitting.
Yeah. You were asking about why there was only one.
Yep.
I mean, the whole point of a brake hose on the front, you know, you got a left and a right brake hose, and the whole point of that is so the suspension can work. You have a flexible point that won't kink, that when your suspension goes up and down both front and rear,
so you don't break the line, right?
Right, exactly. So this allows it to move.
Okay.
See, you got your brake pressure coming in here, and then that brake hose has a splitter made onto it where your left and right wheel cylinder lines attached to. So that's how you get the distribution. And
this is going to another line coming from the front, which I'm going to have to replace at some point, right?
Right, yeah, which on your car, we may not necessarily have to do the whole line. I'll teach you how to do a double flare, which is the special type of line flare that's done for brake lines. Because if we do the line from this hose all the way up, we actually go all the way up to the proportioning valve, which is directly below the master cylinder underneath your hood.
Okay. So. Did you catch all that at home? If I didn't, I'm gonna have to rewatch it. Covering the rest of the parts here. So yeah, I cut you off right here, but so this is the hose, which makes a lot more sense to me now.
Here you go.
What these are?
Tension and retainer kits. This is whenever you push the brakes and the shoes move out. Well, when you let off of the brakes, the springs are what brings the shoes back in. And then you're gonna use hydraulic pressure to spread them using this.
Okay.
And your foot. But these are your self adjusters. This is where most people make mistakes installing the drum brakes and not getting it right. It all has to do with how this piece sits right there, and we'll cover that once we
yeah, I kind of remember that because actually you did adjust the brakes on my convertible FoxBody, Tar Heel Fox.
And previously
I remember this wasn't sitting in correctly.
Correct. Yeah. So we reset that and adjusted your brakes, and I think you said that now you can lock up your tires.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to do that now.
Then, of course, the last thing is going to be the drums. This is another thing that a lot of people can just miss. It is very important. The diameter of the drum has a limit that it has to work when you remove too much material, like if you just use old drums that have been turned several times, every time they turn it, they remove material, making that diameter larger. Well, these shoes are made to fit in there with this diameter, but when the diameter is larger, it's that much further the brakes have to go out to make contact.
Wow.
Your drum's worn out.
Yeah.
That's when your brake pedal goes 2 or 3 inches before you start activating brakes.
Oh.
That's why yours has new drums on it, and once I fixed the adjuster, your brakes were
Yeah,
way
the
up high.
adjustment was way better.
I did the same thing on Peaches. Peaches,
Okay.
I mean, I just barely touch the brakes and it stops. So correctly built drum brakes work very well.
Nice.
They have a bad rep, but done correctly, they're excellent. You'll have, let's see here, that's upside down. So
We'll get it right when I put it in the car.
Maybe.
Maybe? Okay.
But the wheel cylinders would go right here. So as you press the brakes, the pistons would go out and then push the shoes against the drum, which gives you the friction and the stopping force.
Okay. Very
That's
cool.
basically how drum brakes
All
work.
right. Awesome.
You've been driving Tar Heel Fox
Yeah.
with good drums. How do you feel about it?
Well, when my motor works, I feel great about it.
Sorry,
No, the
didn't
brakes.
mean to touch a sore
Yeah,
spot
no,
there.
it's all right. It's all right. So, no, the brakes are actually much better after you adjusted it, for sure, for sure. We still need to replace e-brake cables on my other car as well. But
Yeah, they were hanging up a little bit.
yeah, but it definite improvement. So first thing I've got to do is get this bleeder screw off here, and then I can disconnect the line. The goal is I'm trying to go ahead and remove my wheel cylinder. Those are the general steps, and I get to use a special wrench. It's called a flare nut. I haven't used this one before, so this should be fun. All right, I just got that old wheel cylinder off, and you can see how hard it is to press it in. These are just, it's basically frozen, not moving at all, compared to the new one over here. Well, I'll get it out of the bag, but I'm pushing on both sides. I can feel it trying to move, so yeah. Definitely needed to be replaced. So getting this one, actually it was a little stuck. Basically this wheel cylinder had rusted right here, so kind of had to knock that off. Actually the other side was leaking, so maybe that lubrication made it not rust. But this one also kind of frozen solid. Now it's really important with these old wheel cylinders that you properly, there we go. That's how we do it on Gearhead 704. You belong in the trash. The trash. So another thing I am going to do, guys, I'm actually going to go ahead and clean this up, because we're going to have basically contact surfaces here, here. There's actually 6 of them. And I need to clean this up, get kind of the rust off. Eventually we're going to put some anti-seize for lubrication at lubrication points, but that's what I'm learning. That's a big part of being a mechanic, is you have to always clean everything to make sure you get good surfaces, good contact. So it's just part of the process, but it's actually pretty easy. It's just tedious and time consuming. But yeah, that's what I'm doing next right here. All right, so these the dirt's knocked off of these points. So the next thing is actually take my new wheel cylinder, get that bolted up. Yeah, get this guy bolted up. Now, actually, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to screw the brake line in first. It's going to allow this to, the brake line. Basically, I want it to have some movement. I don't want the wheel cylinder bolted up and then try to get the brake line in there, and I might actually potentially break this. All right, so my new wheel cylinder is on. I went ahead, I got the brake line screwed in right back here. And I've also got, these came with new bleeder screws, so I've got that there as well. So I've still got to do the other side over there, but since I've shown you one side, I'm just gonna do the other side really quick. If you're not sure how it goes exactly the same way. So I'm gonna do that real quick, and then we'll move on to the next step. All right, guys, still moving along here. We are at the lubrication stage because, you know, clean and lubricate. I swear that's almost everything I'm running into in mechanics so far. But yeah, just using some anti-seize, got this side done. The points we're doing is right here, so this entire piece. Also, there's 6 of these pads. So anywhere we've got a contact surface, and then inside the wheel cylinders. So right, this side and this side. Gonna do that. And then my e-brake cable, I'll show you better on the other side. I got better lighting. There's a hole right here. Maybe you can see it right there. See my finger? So the e-brake cable goes through there, and then these are actually the 3 prongs they catch right here. Once you go through, they'll hold it in place. So anyway, gonna go ahead and lubricate the other side, and then we'll get the e-brake cables on, and then we'll go from there. Yeah, there we go. And all the teeth have caught. So now I got my e-brake cable in. Just used a little leg leverage here with my big. If you don't, let me go ahead and ask this. If you know what size shoe I wear, if you've heard it enough by now, go ahead and put it down in the comments below. So we are reusing some of my old parts here, and Matt's kind of going. I actually labeled the entire bag to the passenger. Not that it mattered, but that's what I was doing, but Matt just knows what these are. So this is the e-brake bar.
That's the lever that the cable actually pulls on. That's the equalizer, because when you pull on the e-brake lever, this is only attached to one of the shoes.
So this applies equal pressure to both sides, right?
Check it out. So as you pull this forward, you see how that's got a pivoting action to it? So what it does is when you pull the e-brake handle, this goes forward. Okay. And then, let me get this right here. So it hooks right here. So it goes forward. So when you pull the lever forward, this goes forward, which pushes the front shoe out. Yep. And this is hooked to the back shoe, which pushes the back shoe back. So that's how you get that equalized pressure for with an emergency brake. Cool. This is just a keeper for the retaining springs. This will go on to that top stud. All right. And the rest of this is garbage.
All garbage?
All garbage.
There goes my label bag. I guess I didn't need it.
Sorry to disappoint. Typically, if this was
if this part of the end cable is connected,
if that end of the cable is connected, you would have tension, and you would have to compress a spring.
It wouldn't move as freely as you're able to move.
It wouldn't move at all. You would have tension on it. It would be slightly compressed. So, but since that's not hooked up, we just pull the slack out, and then these are a left and a right, and I'm using the wrong side, by the way. Okay. So you see.
Hold on, we can fix that. Look, there you go.
So now you can see that this hook is facing towards you. Yep. This is the hook that's going to lock into the e-brake shoe. Okay. I'm sorry, the brake shoe.
The brake shoe on the back side here.
Yeah, well, it'll actually sit inside here. Okay. And then what you do is you pull out slack. Yep. And you just kind of hook that cable right there. And then when you have spring tension, I'll spin it around. When there's tension on it, you'll see if I pull on this cable right here.
Right.
So I got a little bit. Yeah. So I got a little bit of tension now. So now it's holding that cable in place. Whenever we hook up the front cable, we will have to verify that this did not come loose during the transport and installation. Okay. Because if it comes loose, your e-brake will not work at all. It won't work at all. Even if one's hooked up, if one's loose, neither one of them will work. Okay.
And that's going to actually be our only brakes basically on this car when we first cconnect it.
Yeah, for transport, because we're not going to hook up the hydraulics, number one, because you broke a line. Right. Yeah, you'll hook that on, and then we will pre-assemble the brake shoes. And it's kind of complicated at the same time. You'll hook this lever into the back shoe, and then you have to spread them and wrap it around without the assembly that we just put together completely falling apart on you. And you'll see what we're talking about.
Now I have to try and repeat that process, guys. Okay guys, I got the one shoe on. This would actually be the front shoe, the driver's side shoe, which has a little less material, as you guys know. So now I'm gonna try the back one, and this emergency brake cable is fighting us a little bit because it's not, well, it's aftermarket and it's not really connected. So those two things make it a little challenging, but I'm gonna try to go ahead and do the other side here. So again, I'm just time-lapsing this, but slowly making some progress. I think Matt did his in, you know, like 15 minutes explaining it, and I'm taking 30 already. So anyway, we're gonna keep going here, so hang with us. So what was going on there? Well, I was getting these in. This emergency brake cable is kind of giving me a lot of pain, and so I was having Matt help me hold the shoe because there was pressure basically fighting against me to where it was making it difficult to get these springs in. We're thinking that it could be one of two things. It might be there's no tension on the other side of the emergency brake, right? Because this is not connected to the e-brake.
Correct.
Or it could be that it's an aftermarket cable, right, Matt? We were talking about that.
Yeah, there's a possibility it's an aftermarket cable, and that spring down there,
yeah,
it almost looks like they made it too long, which is creating too much pressure putting the shoe out. So we're gonna go ahead and install this into the car because the e-brake handle does have its own counter tension spring in it that's actually very powerful, so
that may give us the slack, right?
I think that will equalize the tension to where it should be, and then we can work with it. But since it's out of the car, we don't have it hooked up to the emergency brake handle. We are having to deal with the spring tension.
So guys, now I've got the bottom spring that I got to connect here, and of course this wheel, this is your adjuster. I already got anti-seize on that, but this is going to go in here, right here in this hole. Might be hard to see. Then I'll connect the spring. Then we'll have this guy in the middle, and we'll have to manipulate the shoes a little bit to get the adjuster in there. But I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys that. So guys, look, check this out. This is how we're having to do this on the ground right here. So yeah, this is how you work on brakes 2 inches from the floor. Well, I guess 18 inches maybe.
Something like that.
All right, as you probably saw there, that was actually really a pain in the butt to get those adjusted. Matt had to kind of step in and help me out. Again, the emergency brake, it wasn't applying any tension to help us out, so the shoes were kind of moving and not in the right exact spot they should be. Also, the rear end is out of the car, which makes it easier to video, but a little bit harder to work on. I really appreciate Matt jumping in there and helping me out a little bit on that. Actually, a lot. All right, so that's pretty much it though. Just got to put the drum on now, and then the little rubber piece back here, this is how you adjust it. This adjuster goes in the back and it adjusts the teeth. The teeth are down here on the front side. I don't know if you can see them. Right there, there you are. But there's just a little rubber backing piece. This also came in the kit. It slides. Show you guys how it slides in here. It's pretty, not too bad to get in. There we go, there's that rubber piece in. All right, guys, once again, I came here and it was daylight, and once again, it's dark. Although it is daylight saving time. I think we fall back, actually. Did you know that? Tonight, we get an extra hour of sleep.
Yep.
Wait, that means we need to spend an extra hour on FoxBody stuff. No, extra hour drinking?
Well,
he can't answer that.
Don't stay later tonight.
Yeah. So, but anyway, the rear end is pretty much done. Actually, I thought it was done, but it's not. So we've got some bushings here we need to replace. So might as well do it when it's already out of the car, you know, rather than get it back up in the car. It's gonna be a lot easier to do it right now, right, Matt?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's the deal. I know this rear end rebuild has been going forever, but at least we were brakes today, and it's close. So I'm gonna have a video coming up soon about what the plan is for the FHP. I pretty much have my ideas down, talked with Matt about them, and we're getting a plan together. So look for that coming soon. And hopefully we'll be about done with this rear end stuff. I hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, please hit the like button. If you're stopping in for the first time and you like what you see here, please subscribe, because I do upload 2 times a week, every Sunday and Wednesday. And we will see you next time on Gearhead 704.